The fierce winds of the pampa grassland tore at the low-hanging clouds, coloring the entire sky and earth iron gray. 34 Dutch windmills stood on the horizon, their huge sail wings casting swirling shadows and creaking like the sighs of ancient giants. Don Quixote's hiss was drowned in the howl of the howling wind, and his withered fingers clenched his spear in a death grip. It is the 100-armed giant Briareos coming with his murderous brothers. The jaded bay horse stood up with a rare spurt of bloodied, white foam manfully, its rusty spurs digging deep into its skinny, bony belly. In slow motion, the oak spear stabbed into the cracks of the windmill wing. The sound of the wood fibers bursting was as crisp as a broken bone. The rider is thrown into the air and spins like a rag doll, his faded scarlet cloak rattling in the air currents, and finally thuds into a field of buckwheat. When Sancho's little donkey paced over to him, his master was spitting a bloody tooth out of his mouth, and the spittle mixed with dirt drew weird patterns on the ears of wheat. It must be that freestone. In the distance, the miller's youngest daughter witnessed the whole thing from her window, the spindle in her hand falling into the wool basket and startling a flock of peeping sparrows. The shadow of the windmill sweeps across Don Quixote's convulsing cheeks, morphing into the wizard's grinning face and his bloodshot eyes. Sancho clumsily tries to rinse the wound on his master's forehead with his wine sack. The bad wine mixed with the bloody water flows into the night's eye sockets, coloring the whole world a pale red. The hot midday sun baked the gravel road, and the 12 shackled prisoners squirmed in the heat like multi-jointed centipedes. The escorting soldiers' chainmail armor reflected a blinding white light. The scene of Don Quixote's charge came to life like a poorly executed puppet show. His sword stuck in a fig stump on the side of the road, and the gold thread on the spike wrapped around his leg armor. "Freedom! Warriors!" he declared solemnly, not noticing that the prisoners were stripping him of his glass-beaded armor, fake jewels glued to an old pot lid with donkey glue. A one-eyed prisoner was strangling the fat guard with his chains as they clanked to the ground, and another leper was stuffing Sancho's donkey saddle into his ragged robe. When the last hunchbacked prisoner snatches Sancho's woolen leggings, the sky suddenly rains stones. The group of rescuers use their freshly removed shackles as stone throwers. The pig iron crashes down on the iron pots, converted breastplates with a church bell-like boom. Don Quixote crushed a nest of mallard eggs as he plunged into a roadside ditch. The yolks dripped down the cracks of his helmet, which from a distance looked like an extravagant gold tiara. Sancho's screams startled the herons in the reeds, and their snow-white wings swept across the water.